Man, let's get back into it, bro. So obviously, hearing that, we're going to talk about that right now. I think that was in Black Box. We're going to talk about. Obviously, your dad obviously came to the end of his life, and you were obviously very young when it happened. But did that directly influence you when you grew older? Do you think?
So essentially, what we have is I was 2 years old, and it was about 5 days before Christmas. We got the news that my father had been shot and killed out in Nigeria, and that, you know, it was a weird one because it's like you're expecting daddy to come home, and you know, you're it's like still kind of waiting for that, almost like, and you just move forward, and as you get older, you kind of just come to terms with it, and it was like, as a fatherless, you know, young man or young child growing up, it caused all kinds of like imbalances in your mind, you know, just the certain relationship that, you know, a child should have with their father in, you know, a full functioning family, a whole family. And it's like, when I managed to let God take that role in my life, and I don't want it to sound cliche. I do not want it to sound cliche in the slightest. Seriously, I let God take that role in my life, and he just wants to love. He just wants to love and raise you up and encourage you, and to craft you into the man or the woman. For me, it was, of course, the man that I'm to be. And he raised me up, and he used different mentors and male figures in the church to actually play that role in my life as well. And they would teach me and raise me up. But, you know, even just before I came onto the radio, I was just talking with a friend of mine, and he was just saying how God's using these men in your life just because he's jealous to be my father. He loves me so much, he's jealous to be my father. And it's acknowledging that. I mean, fatherlessness is a real blow, and it can completely, it can destroy someone, it can throw someone off the rails. I mean, yeah, so once God's in that role, it changes everything. It changes everything. So, you know,
yeah,
thank you very much, my father.
So what age do you think it kind of hit you, like here's obviously the impact of him not being there to God jumping in your life? Was there a time in your life like you were going to church maybe and you felt it more relevant that God was your father?
I remember, in terms of when I really acknowledged that I didn't have a father, was in the playground, and I remember waiting in school for like my mum to pick me up, and everyone else had their dads picking them up one day, and I was just looking around thinking, you know, like, where's my dad? And in terms of when I acknowledged that God, and I wasn't fatherless, that was patches and patches as I've grown up throughout my life. Because I mean, I'm still young, I'm still growing, I'm still learning. Only 18, so it's just continuous, and gradually, I'm just learning more and more about the role that God wants to play in my life as my father.
Yeah, man. Well, it's great that you had that church family around you to push you forward, I guess, and be there for you.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man. Well, that's obviously been a blessing in your life. And then I guess, like, if that wasn't kind of bad enough, like losing your dad,
you
also developed your genetic disease, which I'm not even going to try and butcher the name of it.
Mucus polysaccharidosis.
Tell us about that, man. What exactly is that?
So, essentially, when I was around 8 years old, I was diagnosed with this rare genetic disease that would basically mean that a lot of my bones would deteriorate and wear away. And with that as well, so my older brother had the same condition as mine. So he was going through everything I went through, but years beforehand. So my mum prayed over me every night that we'd grow in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and with man. And but it was like, the fact that my brother had gone through it beforehand, he almost played like the dad role in one sense as well, as you know he'd gone through everything, and he could actually like guide me and give me that wisdom. Because I mean, you know, there was no really else to turn to. My mum was a source of unconditional love, and then there's a different type of relationship that you'd have with a father, and my big brother's played that role a lot. So with my condition, just watching and learning from him. I mean, he had his hip replacement operation, I think a couple years back, and now I'm waiting in place for mine. So I know he's gone through that before me, and it's just encouraging to know that, you know, I've got that big brother, father figure ahead of me. You know what I mean?
So what does this mean for you? Because I didn't know that. So your brother's got it as well. So so like, obviously you help each other through it. But what does it mean for the rest of your life then? Like, is this something which is going to get worse, or is it something you can live with?
Very often with this severe condition, like a lot of people die before, you know, in their adolescence because their lungs outgrow the rib cage, etc. So in my case, you know, God, you know, after being prayed for every night, you know, I've grown well. Like, how can I put it? I went to the doctors the other day. It was a few months back, and the doctor must have said to me that I'm the healthiest person he's ever met with my condition. He wouldn't have known I had it, and that's just God playing that role in my life again. I feel to really focus on fatherlessness. I feel like someone listening needs to hear this. So it is really God playing that father role in my life that encouraged me and helped me to grow properly as well. Yeah, that's what I'm rolling with.
So day to day, like, how does it affect you?
How does it affect me? So I get pain very frequently, and because it essentially erodes away at the bones. So, you know, from waking up in the morning and just walking around, if I'm not in a wheelchair, I'll use a wheelchair if I'm in severe pain. So, you know, just doing anything minor, it's like an extra chore, just an extra chore. So it's painful. That's how I can summarize it. Very often when I've been walking around a lot and for too much, it almost feels like I'm walking on broken glass or something like that. You know what I mean? That it's really, it's very painful.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully, I mean, God's going to be pushing you forward in your life, and hopefully you'll still be with us, man, that we can still hear all this great music that's going to come out of you, man. And obviously, like,
most definitely.
Your brothers as well. I guess your brothers survived through it as well, I presume. So that's obviously a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, we've grown more than expected. You know, we've been given, like, we've been blessed and prayed into that we'd have this mild condition. Like, it's not as severe as it could possibly be. So, you know, I'm very grateful to God.
I mean, I pray that, you know, God's going to bless you, man, abundantly, and you're gonna continue to be the kind of healthiest guy the doctor's ever met with this condition, so that you can keep producing great music, man, and we can hear a lot more from you, because that'd be amazing.
Thank you so much, brother.
Personally, man, that's something, what you're saying there hit home with me, because I remember when, before my son was born, as he was in the belly kind of thing, I was just starting to know God myself, and I wasn't really 100% giving my life to Christ, but I did do this thing where I used to pray, like, every night, like, for my son to come out, like, 100. I used to specifically say, like, please, Lord, let my son come out 100% fit, healthy and well, have no deformities, be 100% wholesome and good, you know. And I'd literally pray that every night. And you know what? My son came out perfect, and he's perfect. I mean, when you look at all the cases where people could have all kinds of different things happen with a child, as you know.
Yeah.
But I think really it's because I was just getting to know God then, and even that's the funny thing. Even though I was just getting to know God, I hadn't fully given my life to Christ. He responded, and he blessed me in that way. And my son to this day is perfect. So it's like amazing. You know what I mean? So same with your mum praying for you every night, man. That's what it was. That's what we need. Prayer.
I think it's beautiful how, like, you as a father praying so diligently over your son, that he will grow at like and be completely well. I think that really resembles, like, you know, God the Father's attitude towards us, and love and diligence in ensuring that we grow to be the fullest that we should be, you know, and grow in wisdom and stature and favor with God and with man. You know, I think that really resembles the Father.
Let's get into your next track, bro. We got Something About Us. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you a bit about that one. So this is the direct narrative of essentially where, you know, feeling. I think I'll go deeper now. I think due to not having a father, I feel that I almost like I felt rejected in a sense. Literally, I think I started looking for, you know, love in the wrong places. So it was literally like, as a young man, wanting to move forward into like a a good, pure relationship. And it felt like every time I was just rejected, and I had no real guidance from like a father to actually, to pursue an accurate, relationship, or how to like move and, have a good relationship with someone else. So this is the narrative of where whenever I felt like I fully like loved someone, like they didn't love me back. It's all about the unrequited, unreciprocal love that I felt from other people. And it was like, you only get that acceptance from the father.